fix an aged surface. Now, there's a lot of different types of surfaces that you might be thinking of when I say this, but when I say aged surface, I'm talking about the one behind me. And when I'm talking about treating such a surface, I'm talking about putting something white on top of it. What's behind me now? What is that white that's behind me? Could be one of two things. It could be acrylic or it could be silicone. Those are the two types of roof coatings that I know. I also know asphalt roof coatings. Those are pretty cool too. Well, actually, no, they're not very cool. They're very hot. As a matter of fact, they're very hot. So, as it's literally how it sounds, it's just oil based of some sort. And asphalt coatings they're just so dirty in a sense because I don't know, but I get why oil spills are so hard to clean. You get this on your hands and you need to be scratching your hands to get this asphalt off. But I'm talking about the asphalt roof coatings, and when I talk about this, I'm not talking about asphalt repair sealants, and that's not exactly coating. A repair sealant is just for small cracks. A coating is for larger area. So behind me, you could honestly, in this situation, you could go with 3 different types of coatings. You could go with silicone coating, you could go with an acrylic coating, or you could go with an asphalt coating. What's the best of all 3 in this situation? The best of all 3. And I haven't visited this roof, and I haven't gone and done my little inspection where I feel everything up. I feel the roof up. So I feel the roof up, and I diagnose what the issue with it is. But from just looking at this picture, and just from what I know, silicone is the best. Silicone, it is the most expensive, but it can handle the most. It lasts the longest, and you can really feel, at least when I walk on a silicone roof, it really feels like it's created another barrier, another sort of rubber layer that's above whatever roof was there before. That's how it feels when I put the silicone on the acrylic roof coatings. It really feels like glorified paint. All coatings are really just glorified paint because all you're doing is paint. You are just painting it on, whether it's with a roller, whether it's with a sprayer, or whether it's just with a brush, as long as you cover the area. In this circumstance, let's see, well, the neighbor's house behind me, a little yellow house, maybe from that porch, you could see, maybe you might be able to see a little bit of this roof that I'm on. So they might be able to see it a little bit, but the homeowner and probably a lot of people that are just walking on the street, they're not gonna see what's up here, or worse. So DIY, that's a green flag. If you're worried about painting, or you're like, hey, I'm not sure about painting project, then this is a great extra little thing you can do, extra little remediary step you could do, where you could practice your painting a little bit. And if you mess up, well, people on the ground can't see it, so this is your chance to try things out and have fun with it. That's really what it's about. Well, in the situation where you can't see it that much, when people can see it, then maybe you do want to be a little bit more careful. But in any case, the main goal is to just have it be evenly distributed. Just have it where there's not bubbles or anything on it, because you want it to all dry evenly, and you don't want it to mix with water. You don't want it to still be wet when it rains or anything like that. That is not ideal. That's not a great thing. If that happens, then whatever the water has mixed with that's wet, it's useless at that point. So honestly, it's useless. Even when you apply it, you really have to apply it when it's dry too. Even after it rains, we have to blow on it a lot. We have to get leaf blowers, and we have to get out there and blow the hell out of it, blow the living shit out of it. And we get our leaf blowers. Everyone's got their preference for which particular leaf blower they like. Everyone gets their particular leaf blower, whether it's company issued or not, and blow the hell out of it. And until it's pretty dry, you do want it. It can be a little bit wet, but I've put it on when it's a little bit wet, And even when it's a little bit wet, it messes it up a little bit more than you would think. At least in my experience, everyone might have a little bit different experience, and this might also be a weather thing. So that could really depend. So I talked about silicone, I talked about acrylic glorified paint, and that I think they both yellow over time. They look white at first for at least a year, and they look white for at least a year, but then mostly silicone mostly yellows. I think they both do, to be honest, but I think they both do, to be honest. People are going to say silicone. I think they're going to say silicone does more. I honestly think that it's pretty 50-50 in that aspect. I do. So, God, what was I even thinking of again? I was thinking of, which one's yellow? So that, you can always take care of that by putting an extra coat. But the one thing that should be considered is that you can't put acrylic over silicone. And I'm 90% sure that you can't put acrylic over silicone and that it's not the other way around. You can put silicone over acrylic. You totally can put silicone over acrylic. I know you can. Somebody fact check me though, just in case, because I'm not 100% sure. But essentially, you can put on another coat later and that can take care of the yellowing problem. So you get to this roof and maybe you also think maybe I could just put an asphalt coating on. And well, that's its base material, right? Its base material is asphalt, so putting an asphalt coating right onto that should be a no-brainer, right? And you could put an asphalt coating, that would be an option. But before I tell you why that wouldn't be my first choice, I'll tell you why this coating behind me is white and why silicone coatings and acrylic coatings for the most part are white or some sort of reflective color, but you can get custom colors, I believe, of coatings. You can't, to be honest, just call whatever company sales rep and just say, hey, I want a blue roof coating or something like that. They might accommodate you. I'm not sure if I'm not, I think you might have options. If you go to Home Depot, they're always going to be colored because white is the most reflective, and if it's the most reflective, and at least where I'm at, you got a lot of hot days, so that's a big consideration. You want something that's gonna, so your air conditioning bills are not so high. And asphalt it's like the opposite. It's not something that's white and very reflective. When I'm on some very reflective roofs, like sunglasses aren't enough, they're really reflective, which is good for air conditioning bills. An asphalt roof, it's like the opposite. It's just a black surface, completely black surface in the sun, and that's going to absorb a lot of heat, and it's going to drive up your air conditioning bills unless you take one little thing into consideration with the asphalt coating, because asphalt coatings, they're cheaper, and a lot of people are going to look down on them. But the thing with asphalt coatings is that they have a time and a place. And the main thing you want to have with that is some sort of, after you put the coating on, when it's still sticky, you want to throw on some pebbles or just like some rocks of some sort, like something that's going to cover it up. Like for example, if you throw pebbles on there, then like white special roofing granules, people call them, roofing granules. If you throw like roofing granules on there, and there are reflective granules, then mission accomplished. We have a very reflective roof, and one way to go about it. The reason why I don't like that is because I feel like it's more work. I do feel like it's more work because you have to, it's not just one coating or painting something. Now you have your extra granules that you're throwing onto them. But then you're accounting for the other thing I don't necessarily like about introducing granules, and usually this doesn't matter so much, and it's more a preference thing, but granules can get in your gutter. Now, it's just granules getting in your gutter, then that's not even a problem. Like, gutters are meant to take granules. You have granules on them. Gutters can handle granules. The only time gutters can't handle granules is if they're already clogged, then the granules is just gonna make the problem a little bit worse. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of the asphalt coat, even though they can work. And the only time when I would really use an asphalt coating is on not a granuled roof, but a rock roof, 1-inch rock roof, or something like 1-inch individual rock roof. Each rock is like, I don't know, it's an inch big. So for that type of roof, you would remove the big rocks that are there. So you're gonna have to remove those rocks regardless. And the other thing you would have to do is essentially move those rocks somewhere else, or you just take them off the roof and either throw them out or use them for something else. And it's a pain, so why not reuse them in this case? And that's where it's the asphalt coating's time to shine. But regardless of all of these, the main goal it's really just for roofs that you're extending the life of. If the roof is too far gone, then it doesn't really matter what the case is, because the roof will fail regardless. So it won't really matter if you put a coating on the next rain, it'll still leak. So that would happen when there's just a rip. Either there's a rip that's a really big rip in the roof, because if you look behind me, you can see it looks like it's almost like a really rolled out sheet of almost like leathery material, if you will. That's how it feels to me. What's behind me, it's like a rolled out material. And they rip. Those materials rip. And if the rip is more than a foot, certainly, maybe more than 8 inches, then you might not be able to use a coating. You might need to do a partial re-roof, or honestly, I take that back. That's not really the only consideration you should take into it, because if it's just a one rip, then you might be able to put a fabric there, and that could repair it. This is one of those things where just an individual roofer or someone would have to just look at it and see whether it's repairable or not. It's always good to get more than one opinion on that for sure, but there's also roofs that are borderline where it's like, well, the coating may or may not work. There's those roofs too. But generally, what I'm looking at is how big rips might be. Is water cooling in certain areas? If it rained a few days ago and there's water still on the roof, then that's a bad sign, and on its own, not a big deal. But if you have that, it's just the amount that you have. Water can pool on your roof for 48 hours, and that's fine. But if it's on there for a week, then there's an issue. So with all of these things, when you look at roof, it's just the amount of it that's there, pretty much. But in a sense, coatings on roofs, the one thing that I don't know so much about is metal roof coatings, but these similar principles apply with metal roofs as well. Your challenges are rust, oil, residue. You can have, right, there's a lot of heat fluctuation. Metal it's either cold or it's really hot, depending on the location, and those temperature changes and whatnot can mess things up. But the use cases remain the same. It's just for protecting. Or how does rust come? Rust comes from elements from the oxygen that you and I breathe together as one. The end.